I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. This is Atmospheric Alex here with another tropical weather update on Tropical Storm Debby here, which is about to lash the Carolinas and already has been with tons and tons of rain, some storm surge, some wind, and maybe even some tornadoes as well. So, as it stands, here's your National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty right now, and as you can see here, we are expecting Debby to re-emerge out here over some of the Atlantic waters here near the Gulf Stream. This should be in progress all the way through tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow evening before making landfall somewhere, I would say, in southeastern South Carolina here, as probably a mid-grade tropical storm. I wouldn't even roll it a high-end one, but this doesn't have the most amount of energy to work with, and then it should slowly move northward and then hopefully get out of our face this weekend. That's what we're really hoping as of now, but I am expecting significant flooding because of this, and as you can see, currently, we're talking about maximum sustained winds of 40 miles an hour, but the thing that really stands out is its motion. East-northeast at 3 miles an hour. This is incredibly slow. It is moving at a crawl. Some would even argue that it's slower than a Monday morning right now, and I mean, that's pretty obvious here. I mean, you could walk faster than 3 miles an hour, so that is what we're taking a look at here with Debby. Okay, now one of the hidden risks of this system that not many people have been talking about is our storm surge forecast. And while this doesn't seem too significant, we'll still be talking about 1 to 2 foot storm surge from the mouth of the St. Mary's River going up here into South Carolina along the South Santee River here, and then we're expecting us to upgrade to 2 to 4 feet of storm surge going all the way out to Cape Fear. This probably won't be too much storm surge as it levels off to 1 to 3 feet here, heading into Cape Lookout here and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So now let's take a look at the future radar for Debby, shall we? Well, this is going through this evening into tonight. I really would like to note, you got some of your severe weather up here in the Northeast. Remember I mentioned that a few days ago? Well, it has uptrended a lot. There was actually, I think, a strong tornado possibly on the ground near Cleveland earlier. So, if anyone lives there, I hope you all are doing okay. You have had a rough day so far. As we take our attention down here to the tropics, we're talking about Tropical Storm Debby down here as it moves into the Atlantic here. I don't think it'll quite interact with the Gulf Stream waters, which is why we're not anymore expecting rapid intensification. We're going to play this through time. We have Tropical Storm Debby here re-emerging out in the coast here, out into the Atlantic. And this is going into tomorrow afternoon. You could see a nice little swirl right there, if you will, just to the south of South Carolina here, to the southeast of there. And going into, it appears it'll be early tomorrow night for landfall. And I want to point something out really quick. So if we pay extremely close attention, I would like to note you have a lot of these supercell features that march on shore here. These most certainly will have the chance to produce tornadoes and, of course, water spouts. So please, if you live along the North Carolina coastline here, more of your southern North Carolina coastline, stay weather aware and have emergency alerts turned on, as tornadoes will certainly be possible, if not even likely, tomorrow afternoon going into tomorrow night. As you can see, Debby will continue, and it curly cues back inward here in the portions along the South Carolina-North Carolina border, delivering tons of rainfall for some of these areas. We'll get into that in a little bit. I would like to note, though, your wide open warm sector here that begins to develop across North Carolina, mainly eastern portions of North Carolina. This is where a big-time tornado event could set up here on Thursday. Not quite comfortable calling it an outbreak yet. We'll just have to continue monitoring these model trends as we go through. Okay, and now a look for your Storm Prediction Center's convective outlook. As you can see, we currently have a level 2 risk here along the Carolina coast today. The main threats of this will be tornadoes, unfortunately. as they spin up here, they move on shore. You got your water spouts that kind of curl on shore. So you do need to be extremely aware of that today. And I don't want to leave anyone else out of these risks here. We got a level 3 out of 5 up here in the northeast, mainly Pennsylvania. This was for damaging winds, some hail, mainly tornadoes as well. You even have a level 2 risk up here in Montana. We don't really need to mention that too much. Just, again, damaging winds, large hail. And down here for Arizona, your monsoon will be kicking up into high gear today, where you could see some damaging winds, microburst potential, large hail possibly as well. So if you're in any one of these areas here, then you need to be staying weather aware. Here's a look at tomorrow's risk. We have a nice little 1 out of 5. I really am surprised they didn't upgrade this to a 2 already. We are expecting, like I said, tornadoes to be the main threat tomorrow along the South Carolina, North Carolina coastlines here. Now, as we head into Thursday, we have another level 1. Very surprised, again, this is not a level 2. I am expecting a pretty big time tornado event here across the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We're even getting up into portions of the Virginia coastline as well. So, if you live along those areas, like I said previously, turn your emergency alerts on Thursday, as it could get rather significant out there. And now, I wanted to touch bases on just how much rain has fallen today across South Carolina. Well, what you're seeing here is your rainfall amounts from today, obviously. We're taking a look here at this. Anything in your yellow shades, okay? The yellow shading here is over a foot of rainfall that has fallen so far today. And there are a ton of areas with this currently ongoing here. So significant flash flooding is happening now. We have flash flood warnings out the wazoo at this point across those areas for, significant flooding and standing water concerns. And I would even like to mention here your orange to red areas here. That is 15 plus inches of rain that has fallen from this system so far. This is extraordinary across these areas here. You can only imagine just, how much flooding is ongoing in those neighborhoods, those communities right now. For the city of Charleston, for that matter, they've gotten 10 inches today. So just please keep that in mind here as we take a look at our forecasted rainfall amounts in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, we are taking a look here at your forecasted rainfall over the next 5 days, and goodness gracious, we're talking about another 10 to maybe 12 inches of rainfall here across portions of South Carolina, and even into portions of the North Carolina coastline here. We are expecting very substantial flooding issues here to occur. This is your 5-inch line here, and we are seeing tons upon tons of rainfall for those areas here. I mean, take a look at everybody who's going to be impacted. Please, this is very, very serious here, and I need you all to stay safe. And if you encounter flood roadways while driving, turn around and don't drown. That is extremely important to remember through this crazy event here. And, well, look at that. It takes us straight into our excessive rainfall outlooks for today. We are talking about, believe it or not, a high risk of heavy rainfall here across much of the South Carolina coastline, even a bit inland there. Even portions of North Carolina getting on the action. And tomorrow, big day as well. Like I said, we have a 4 out of 4 on your flash flood scale here across much of the South Carolina coastline and even portions of the North Carolina coastline. Same song and dance applies. And tomorrow's when Debbie's going to make landfall. So a lot more rain is going to be streaming on shore, unfortunately, with your tornado potential a little more elevated. Again, like I said, you need to be very, very weather aware across those areas tomorrow, as flash flooding will be a huge issue. And the risk area gets even bigger going into Thursday. I mean, oh my gosh, look at this high risk here. And this goes into portions a lot more inland now, as you could see just how expansive this is. Inland North Carolina, look at that. Inland South Carolina, that's just much more significant here. And not to forget about these areas outside and the slight risk. Those areas could even see major impacts as well. Well, that'll about do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to smash the like button and feel free to maybe subscribe to my channel as well. It'll help me grow my little corner of the weather community and help get this information out to as many people as possible as we work as a community to get all this information out. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.